What's up, guys? So in this video I want to break down like a real-world case study of how Facebook ads actually work. So I'm not going to actually go through the actual ad setup, the retargeting campaigns, all that stuff, the pixels, because I've already done that in earlier videos. But I just want to like go high level and show you guys exactly how it works with a few different businesses. So this one I'm going to break down my business exactly, and as you guys know, I've scaled my software company up to a pretty good size. We're doing a couple $1 million every single year, and we just do everything off of Facebook ads right now. Now that, like, you could have the argument where like, okay, that's not super stable because you're only relying on Facebook ads. Well, we're working on moving out to Google AdWords as well, and YouTube ads and all that stuff. But I just want to break down the overall concept, because no matter if you're using Facebook ads or any of these other advertising platforms, the idea is pretty much the same. Okay, so I'm gonna break this down here. I really want to be able to get this across to you guys and show you guys how important these different steps are. So let's just get into this. Okay, so first what I'm doing is I am not the best drawing on this, but I'm gonna run a Facebook ad here. Okay, and I am running this to my initial lead generation page. Okay, so for me it's a webinar registration. For you it could be just a simple lead opt-in like we have in the $1 million funnels. You have those templates. It could be for an appointment funnel. It could be for a number of different things. But I've got my webinar right here. Okay, so this is, they're going here, they're seeing the Facebook ad, and this is going out to my lookalike audiences. Okay, so I'm getting a big audience here. My lookalike audience going to the webinar registration, and then on the webinar I am then sending them to a sales page, right? So I go through, I do my training, I say, okay, here's how you do these things, and go to this URL to go buy. Okay, so this is going to be the sales page right here, and I'm just setting this all up for you guys because this is important to kind of know how this all works. So this is a $1,000 offer right here. Okay, so at this point they would go through and buy, and that's kind of like more of our higher ticket item right here. And then we do have other different offers. Okay, so we've got so let's just go right here. We got 99, and then for this is for our software, right? And then we've got a 199 offer. Okay, so this is our basic plan, this is our pro plan, and then we've got our full service plan. So this is kind of like you got self-serve, assisted, and then full service right there. So we've got these different offers that are kind of just different follow-ups, right? Because once you're going through, I'll break this down in a few different businesses, but once you go through and you sell to this initial audience, you're getting leads, and you go through and you break down, okay, if I've got 1,000 people registering for this webinar, I'll probably have 250 to 300 people show up on the live webinar, and out of those I'll have about 8 to 10% of people actually purchasing. So I have about 20 to 25,000 dollars of revenue coming in from that, or 20 to 25 purchases. But from the let's say it's 25. Okay, but then you have 975 other people that didn't buy right away, but we can go through and send follow-up emails to. So we're sending these emails to get them to come back to buy this, or we can go through and we can promote this offer, or we can go through and we can promote this offer, or we can promote that offer. Okay, so that's like the follow-up email once they're actually on our email list. And at that point, this is where they get on our email list. So they see the initial ad, we send them to the webinar. From the webinar, we're sending them to the sales page. But as we've talked about, there's a lot of drop-off here. Okay, but then because we have their email address, we can go through and follow up with different offers, whether they're lower ticket or getting them on a phone. For it's like for this one right here, we use an application funnel, because to get on a $699 a month plan, most people won't do that by just reading an email and going and signing up. They typically need to get on a phone, and typically for the 199, same type of thing, a $99 a month plan. A lot of times people can just just jump on that without having to go through and get on a phone with somebody, if you let them know like, hey, you can cancel anytime, and just taking away a lot of that risk. Okay, so that is the initial setup, right? But the thing is there's going to be drop-off points at every step of this whole like business model, the sales cycle, right? So you come here and you have the Facebook ad initially, and your people are clicking on this and they're going to this webinar registration page. Okay, now this webinar registration page actually converts really pretty well. It converts at about 45%, which most landing pages, registration pages, something like that, it's going to be more in the 15 to 25%. It's just my targeting is really dialed in. The offer, I've been doing this for a long time, so we've really nailed it down. And if you guys go to the $1 Million Funnels, I've given you guys the exact template to use because I feel like that structure of the page just works the best. Okay, so now because only 45%, so out of 100 people, you're gonna get 45 out of 100 people visiting this page to actually become leads. Okay, so now at this point, this is great for retargeting. Okay, so now I'm gonna set up a retargeting ad right here, and I'm gonna show it to all of those 55. So now you have 45 out of 100 are leads, but you have 55 people. And as you scale up, you have, as you go up to 1,000 people right here, you now have 550 people that now they did not opt in initially the first time, that you can show these retargeting ads. So maybe we've got a couple retargeting ads, okay, and we're getting them coming back to register for this webinar that we're doing, okay, because that's kind of like our main initial sales process, our initial sales mechanism. So that's where we want people to be introduced to me, to my business, to everything that's going on. Now the same type of thing, guys, like don't get so hung up on the fact that I do webinars and you don't do webinars. The same type of thing works if this is your appointment scheduling funnel, right? So if you schedule appointments for your business, like maybe you've got a marketing agency, or you schedule appointments for dentists or chiropractors, or you're trying to get people into a local restaurant or a gym, or let's say you've got an e-commerce business and this is kind of like your Shopify store or your Amazon store, and people are visiting there but they maybe didn't buy right away. You want to have these little retargeting ads going back to remind them and get them coming back, because sometimes it's either like, the timing just wasn't right, or it could be like they were wanting to register but the doorbell rang, or they got a phone call, or something came up, they had a they forgot the brownies were in the oven, something like that, something crazy, or they just need like a little bit more trust and credibility built with you and your brand before they opt in or buy something. Okay, now we go through and we do this webinar right here, and at the end of the webinar we're sending everyone to the sales page to go through and buy whatever we're selling. Okay, so now let's say we get 100 people coming here, and out of the 100 people, let's say there's because these people have already watched our whole webinar, so these are pretty hot people. Let's say we got 25 of them that actually bought what we're selling on the webinar. Okay, so 25 people buying $1,000 ticket item, you make $25,000. Great, that's awesome. But you have these 75 other people that already watched your whole webinar, okay, or already scheduled an appointment with you, or already we're checking out your website, whatever it is, but for some reason they didn't buy. Okay, so now what I would do is I would get more retargeting ads right here that I'm going through and saying, hey, this custom audience, anyone who's hit this webinar sales page, I want to show these ads to them and get them coming back to the sales page and reminding them of this offer. Okay, now a lot of times on retargeting ads, what I like to do, just because a lot of times reasons why people have not opted in is because maybe there's not enough social proof, maybe there's not enough trust or credibility really built up yet. So a lot of times I like to have testimonial ads letting people know that, like, hey, there's been more than just like a couple people that have had success with this. Like, there's a lot of people that have had success with this, and that is the same thing getting them back for a webinar registration, and the same thing getting them to go back to the webinar sales page. And a lot of times, like these retargeting ads, like I've shown you guys in the retargeting module, these ads convert amazingly well. And the reason why is because you're just spending like $1 to $5 a day, like literally just like $1 a day, guys. You can be going through and showing these specific ads to the 75 people up here that did not buy, but they stayed on your whole webinar, or they scheduled a call with you, they had a phone call with you, and they showed massive interest, but for some reason that they needed something to push them over the edge. Okay, and then you can maybe get another 5 to 10 people buying just like that. Okay, which 5 to 10 on $1,000 ticket item, that's a pretty good ROI right there. $5,000 to $10,000 when you're spending just $1 a day on these little mini retargeting ads. Okay, so now at this point they've gone through, we've got them to the webinar registration page. We've collected the low-hanging fruit, the people that didn't opt in right here. Okay, we're getting them back right over here. They've watched the webinar, they've gone through, they've seen the sales page, we've got the retargeting ads here. And now what we like to do, what I like to do, is I like to go through and put them through a little nurture. My handwriting's terrible here, guys, sorry about that. Little nurture sequence where I'm sending them emails, okay, where they're educational based emails, and I usually send about 1 a week for about 8 weeks. Okay, so I'm not wanting to bombard them, but I'm wanting to let them know, like, hey, I'm here to help you. Like, and so whatever this webinar is on, so if this webinar is on real estate lead generation, or it's on Facebook ads, or it's on whatever it is, I'm going through, and in these emails I'm sending them to a blog post, I'm sending them to a YouTube video, I'm sending them something that they can see, like, hey, one, I know what I'm talking about. Two, like, I want to give you the same type of education. I want to show you that, like, I can add value to you in your life. And then sprinkled in there in between over the course of these 8 weeks, so I like to send these on Sunday mornings, just because a lot of times, and it depends on your market, but a lot of times Sunday mornings in most markets it's a little bit slower. Like, it's just a slower day, so people have a little bit more time, you know, on a nice Sunday morning at 9-10 a.m. or 11 a.m. or whenever they're getting up and getting about their day. They get this email, they check it out, they've got a little more time because it's a little slower pace as opposed to like a Monday morning when it's like they're getting 100 emails from their boss, from everyone else. Just gets a little crazy. And then sprinkled through these 8 weeks, I like to let them know about these different offers, these different bonuses. Okay, so like I've got the 99, I've got the 199, the 699. And you know, if they're going through and they're gonna go and jump on a 199 or 699, since it's a higher ticket item, I'm sending them to that appointment funnel that I've got you guys down in the $1 Million Funnels module. Okay, and then this is just like a simple sales page, the $99 a month to go through and sign up for the software. Or if you've got a digital product, or you've got an e-commerce product, you've got that Tripwire sales funnel or the digital products funnel, that's where I would send people to right there. Okay, and then right here, anyone that hits these pages, I'm gonna also show retargeting ads to. Okay, retargeting and getting coming back to these offers to go through, set up an appointment, remind them to go through and buy whatever we've got going on. And so we've got all these little like mini retargeting ads, and it all starts with this big giant Facebook lookalike snowball right here, where we're going through and we could be spending, you know, 50 bucks a day, 100 bucks, 500 bucks, 1,000 bucks, 2,000 bucks, depending on your budget right here. And then we have all these little cleanup ad campaigns of retargeting every step of the funnel. Okay, and these, like, literally, guys, we're spending $1 a day. So let's say we've got 2 ads right here, $2 a day, another 2 right here, $4 a day, one on each of one of these. Like that's like less than $10 a day, and you've got all these little micro almost sales people that are going out there and pitching your people that are your hot prospects on whatever you're selling. Now if you come back up here, there's not everyone even that sees this. Say we've got a 45% opt-in rate, okay, and these retargeting ads, they're gonna work extremely well, but still not everyone is gonna go through and opt in for a webinar, right? That's just not everyone's mode of jumping in and figuring out the whole business. So what I'll do too is I'll have another retargeting ad down here, okay, of people that have visited this webinar registration page, but they did not opt in for the webinar. Okay, and I'm sending them to the simple opt-in funnel. Okay, so we've got the simple opt-in registration page, which is like, it's a template, it's a download, it's a checklist. It's something that they can get very quickly. So like a lot of times what I do with my business, I have real estate email templates, I've got Facebook ad templates, I've got landing page templates, something that's just like a quick win, something that they can get. And usually with retargeting ads right here, I see $1 to $2 leads right there, versus on the cold traffic up here, I'm seeing about $8 to $10 leads. Okay, so you look at that, that's a big difference. That's like a 5 to 10 times difference in your cost per lead. And now that I've got them on my email list, I send them up through this same nurture sequence where over the next 8 weeks they're getting an educational or a value building email every Sunday morning, and then spread throughout the week, maybe on a Tuesday and a Thursday, they're getting, maybe the first week they're getting hit up about this initial offer, and then they might be getting hit up weeks 3 or 4, whenever it is, with the $199, and then hey, schedule an appointment, let's talk about your business, to get a consult in about the $699. And then all of these retargeting ads are already in place, are already going through, and anyone who clicks on these emails to these websites, it's already all set up, and it's just like a complete machine for your business right here. So guys, I hope you can see the power of this, of how this really works. Like at the end of the day, once you get this all set up, this literally becomes a machine. Okay, your retargeting ads at $1 a day, you don't really have to touch those. Same thing here, because these are always, they're always going to be new people hitting this webinar registration page, always new people hitting the sales page, always new people hitting these pages. So you don't have to go and switch those up all the time. And then you get people on your email list, they go through the same sequence, and then you've got the retargeting ads right here, people opting in, and these are going to be new people seeing these ones because it's new people always hitting this page. And then as far as switching up and changing up your Facebook ads, you only really need to do that on this front end right here of going out to your cold audience, which is your lookalike audiences, okay, that we've talked about and we've hit. So your 1% lookalike audience of your buyers, 1% lookalike audience of your leads, and 1% lookalike audience of your visitors. And also another thing I like to do is I like to break it down and make lookalike audiences of all my webinar sales, a lookalike audience of all this product sales, a lookalike audience of all this one and this one, because all of these people are different types of people. Okay, this is a self-serve option, this 99. This is an assisted, so they get a little bit of help from us but not fully. And then this is a full service done for you. So each one of those is going to be catered to a completely different type of person. This person might not have the full-on budget, okay, so might not have enough money to go through and pay for this, or they just are more of that type of person that they want to get educated, they want to learn it. Whereas this person up here, they definitely have the budget. It's a higher end product, and it's probably somebody that just doesn't want to mess around with stuff. They just want you to do everything for them. Okay, so I like to make lookalike audiences of all those different types of people. And then also we talked about the lifetime value. Okay, because if somebody jumps on, let's say this full service account right here, and they're on for 12 months. Okay, so they're paying $700 a month times 12 months. They have paid your business $8,400 over the course of a year. Okay, versus somebody jumps on this $99 plan. Okay, they're a customer, they're willing to take out their credit card and buy something, but let's just say they only stayed on for 1 month or maybe 2 months or something like that. So you have a $100 or $200 value customer, okay, lifetime value, versus an $8,400 customer with the lifetime value audience, which we hit in the audience section, audience module. So if you're wondering how to do that, we go through that in detail on that. That is exactly how the business is set up. Okay, so guys, this really works, and I'll try to get some other different real-life case studies, examples and stuff, but it works for any type of business. Okay, like you go through, if you're not doing a webinar, you're scheduling appointments, you have the retargeting ads, and then from the, like, they schedule an appointment here, and then when you're on the phone call with them, you're sending them to the sales page to go sign up, and they go through, they type in, when you're on the phone with them, they type in the sales page, and maybe they buy, maybe they don't buy. But if they don't buy, you've got these retargeting ads all set up and going. Okay, and then because they've scheduled an appointment, you have their contact information where you can go be offering them other products or other services that you might have. Okay, same type of setup. Same thing with an e-commerce store. Okay, you go through, you send people to that initial e-commerce store, that whether they buy or they don't buy, you get them on your email list, and then over the next several weeks, you're offering them your other products on your e-commerce store. And then depending on which page they hit on your e-commerce store, you could be showing them different ads related to those specific products, getting them to come back. Okay, so like really this works with any type of business. That is exactly how I would structure it, exactly how I would set up. Get your good lookalike audiences right up here. And also you don't want to forget that you want to also, as part of these like retargeting audiences right here, this is where your tier 2 audience as well as your warm audience, okay, you're going to be sending them all to this webinar registration page. So these are going to be the ones that are collecting those low-hanging fruit, people that are not opting in. And then also we've got to collect the people that are even more low-hanging fruit, get them to that simple opt-in page where they're downloading real estate email templates, Facebook ad templates, whatever it is, getting them back into this whole cycle. And as part of this, once they're on your email list, you can re-invite them back up here to register for the webinar, which then takes them back through this whole entire cycle. Okay, so like it's literally all just it all works together. It's a complete machine. It's systematic. And really, once you get this nailed down, you're spending minimal money on the retargeting ads. You've got your lookalike audiences where you can go through and really scale things. You've got all your different products, all your different services. And this is a real life case study. This is exactly how I run my software business. Okay, so it works for any type of business. So anyway, guys, if you guys do have questions on any of this, go ahead, drop them in the Facebook group, and I'm more than happy to go through and explain any more of it. Get it kind of like nailed down in detail for you all, so you guys can have a true blueprint, true roadmap for your business of how to go through and scale things and take things to the next level. Right now, one thing I will say, one last quick note. However good you can be very good with Facebook ads, but if you do not know how to sell, okay, if you don't know how to sell on the webinar, if you don't know how to sell on if they schedule an appointment with you and you can't sell on the phone, if you can't offer that value, if you can't offer those services, then you've got another thing coming from you. You got to go through and learn how to sell as well. Facebook ads just simplify the whole process, and honestly, you can warm people up to the point, guys, that you don't really even need to like make a major sales pitch, okay? Because they're getting nurtured over here by these emails. And so by the time you get them on the call, it's more a simple like explaining what you're gonna do, how your service is gonna benefit them, and then it's just a very low-hanging fruit. Okay, so anyway, I just want to break that down as well. And with that said, guys, I will see you in the next video.